all day long. I don't know if I actually need it or if it's habit. I tend to get a
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of our 2-part webinar series to help you learn the Shibboleth lifestyle. My name is Kim Danke. I am the fast track instructor for the Shibboleth lifestyle, and this is where you begin. You begin in fast track. And I'm going to give everybody until 8:03 to get logged into Zoom and get here on this website. So we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping to get started. If you will, make sure that you have click where it says chat. Either on your phone or on your computer, click where it says chat, and then click where it says all panelists. Then you're going to choose the option for all panelists and attendees. Hey, Sherry, awesome. I'm glad you're there. Hey, Patty. And then when you type, everybody will be able to see what you say, which is good. So we got Dava is back. Dava and Josh from Tennessee. That's awesome. Hey, Linda. Linda from Palmetto, Georgia. Courtney, missed yesterday's video. Is it okay to watch the video first? It is. It's okay to watch this video first. But what I want to make sure is that you watch last night's too, because this is just one component of the 5 parts of the shield that we do each day, the Shibboleth shield. So make sure that you watch yesterday's, otherwise you might be a little confused. But no, you can watch this one first. It's totally fine. Glad you're here. Let's see. And Sarah Morgan from Ponte Vedra Beach, or Ponte Vedra, Florida, day 4. Awesome. Glad you're here. And Tony, hey, Tony from Marietta. Thank you for joining us on the Shibby Show this morning. Hey, Renata. Is that right, Renata? From Renata Jeffcoat from Texas, and Kayla from Ella J. Janine Hunter from Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Tammy Hildebrand from Maryland. Lee Connors from Norman, Oklahoma. Jane Swain from Dahlonega, Georgia. Linda Atchie, Linda Spring, Texas. Lolanda White, Panama City Beach, Florida. Ooh, I like that, Panama City Beach. And Melissa Crawley, Calhoun, Georgia. Lee Connors, day 1, awesome. Courtney from Marietta. Angel from Michigan. Lynn in Illinois was on the Shibby Show this morning. Awesome, Lynn Birchfield. Thank you. Angela Griffin from Talmo, Georgia. And Dava. I took really good notes and went over everything with my hubby since he was working. He is here tonight with me, though. We are doing this together. That is awesome. It really is best. Hey, Troy Dawn, glad you're back tonight, too. Awesome. Well, welcome. And then we've got some additional people watching on Facebook, and that is wonderful. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to go over a website that you will have access to after this. So no need to do any type of screenshotting or anything like that. We're going to, I'm going to show you where this website is currently. I'm going to go there now, actually. And see right here where it says dashboard. I clicked on dashboard in the Shibboleth website. And then Jane Swain is in the Zoom room, which is awesome. Thank you for tagging her. Gina just tagged you on Facebook, which is great, but stay here in the Zoom room because it's the communication is quicker. Facebook has a slight delay. Okay, so click on dashboard. If you are brand new, which most of you are, some people watch on refresh, then yours is popping up to the fast track. Once you've done the fast track, it'll pop up to this instructor video, but you're going to click on fast track. And then in lap 1, you're just going to walk through and do each and every one of these little steps here, okay? But in lap 2, do you see right here where it says simple food combining website link? That's the link we're going to use tonight. So you can know that it's there for future reference, all right? You can save it to your computer if you choose to, or you can just know that it's sitting right there for your future reference. If you have not seen the fast track yet, this is where you start the Shibboleth lifestyle. Lap 1. You read this paragraph. This video here is going to walk you through what it looks like to complete all of these tasks. You hover over this information eye. You read the black box. You click here. It takes you where you need to be. Hey, Michelle Harper. And then once you've done that, you check that box and you work your way through every lap, every little thing. A lot of these things, like right here, finding your ideal weight, completing your full body assessment, all of these things are things getting your account set up properly. So you're going to want to do that for sure. So don't leave any step incomplete. Make sure every step in every lap of fast track is complete. All right. Lap 1, when you go into the dashboard up here, click on dashboard at the very top. If this is answering Renata's question, if you happen to be on a phone doing this, when you go to your website on your phone, do you see that black circle in the top left corner? You can click there and that will open up to, no, that's not, sorry, that's not where the dashboard is. Goodness. That does bring open another menu that you might want in the future, but that's not where I was going just now. Yeah, all the way at the top, you see those 4 lines on your phone? You click that and it brings another little drop-down menu, and then you would choose dashboard, and then you would choose fast track. But if you're brand new, whenever you're clicking dashboard, it's going to fast track immediately. So like I have to do an extra step because I'm not new, but yours should go right there. And the reason that you don't see all those steps listed out on mine is because it collapses the information once you're already finished with it, just so it doesn't take up space on this little page. But if you want to get back to it, you just click on the lap and it all appears. So that's where it is. But make sure that you hover over this information eye. You've got to read that black box. That black box is the information that I want you to know about why you're doing this task. And if there's any special information that you need to know about doing this task, then you'll click on that and then it will take you where you need to be. Okay. And then once you've done that task, you just simply check that box and then you reread the next black box. Then you click here. It's kind of like you're working backwards almost there, but it's okay. So this is, yeah, awesome. So that's where you're going to find those. So fast track. What we're going over tonight is foods that are in these categories. Hey, Nancy, we're in foods that are in categories. So last night we did the lifestyle overview, which is very important to watch if you haven't watched it, because it's like Shibboleth in a nutshell. But I can't talk all about the food stuff just on one night. So that's why we have 1 hour of tonight. So what I'm going to do tonight is I am going to read the foods that are in each category as we come to the category, because it's very important for you to start to familiarize yourself with the foods that go in these categories. And you don't have to eat anything on Planet Shibboleth that you don't like. But what you do need to do is figure out the foods that you like and know what categories they go in so that you can put them together properly. I'm going to go over cooking oils and fats one time. I'm going to go over condiments one time. And then I'm going to move through these fairly quickly. So if you are taking notes, I want you to write down the foods that you hear that are in these categories so that you start to build your favorites list. This is very important. So I'm going to go over the cooking oils and fats first right here. So we use 100% MCT oil as our cooking oil. Make sure that you cook on low to medium heat with it. Otherwise, it will set off your smoke detector because it has a low smoke point. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. And what this is this is 100% medium chain triglycerides. So let's look at coconut oil. Coconut oil is an approved oil. It's 66% MCTs. It's not 100% MCTs. If you want 100% MCTs, it's all the MCTs that have been pulled out of coconut oil or palm oil, and it's put into the MCT. So it's 100% MCTs, whereas coconut is 66%. Ghee butter, all ghee butter is it's butter, but it's been clarified. What that means to you is that the milk solids have been pulled out, so it's just the fat that's left, and it's 40 to 45% MCTs. The reason we have this butter in here is to make things like shrimp scampi or lobster tail or crab legs taste good. If you like to have butter with them, we're going to find the butter that we like, one that's not going to capture fat while we eat it, like regular butter, because there's milk solids in all of that. And then we use 0-calorie cooking spray. You can use all of those things. So MCT oil has almost no propensity. Did you hear me? Almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. That is awesome information. Whereas the oils we were using before Shibboleth, olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, those are LCTs, long chain triglycerides, and they have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. So I'm just going to say, since I started Shibboleth, I have not bought anything but MCT oil. I've also bought ghee butter. I haven't bought any coconut oil. I've used that in the past, but I'm just using MCT oil and ghee butter. I've never bought any other oil. I'm one of those people that once you find out the information, why do it any other way? This is the information that works. I'm not going to do it another way. So MCT oil is a shorter fat lipid and it's easier to burn through. Long chain triglycerides are a longer fat lipid and they're more dense and they take a very long time to burn through. And so we don't need that. We need to be accessing stored energy as our energy and burning that off, not giving our body easily accessible sources of energy, such as unapproved oils and then starchy and sugary carbs too. But we teach you how to do all of that in the right combo. And then you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. So the way that I do this, if I am using a lean protein or cooking a lean protein, I use MCT oil. If I am cooking a protein plus fat, I simply use 0-calorie cooking spray. And that's just the way I think about it. So MCT oil has a metabolism building effect. So it does help you make the fastest fat burning combinations when you put, Patty, you can up to, as long as you don't have more than 50 calories. And so MCT oil is sorry, I answered that question and got off track. I don't normally do that, but I did just then. Oh, I don't know where I was. Where was I? Where was I? Oh, it has a metabolism building effect. And so that's what helps a category 1 and 2 meal be the fastest fat burning combination. And then it also has a muscle preserving effect. And we want to do both of those things. And you're hearing me say really great things about MCT oil, but we never want to use it as a supplement. So never feel like you need to get it in. You never need to get it in. It's not a supplement. But what you do want to do is you want to use it appropriately. If you are cooking with a pot, a pan, a grill, however you want to use it, you can use MCT oil. If you're using that to replace in a recipe, you can do that. And if you are making approved salad dressings, you can do that. So those are the 3 ways that I would expect us to use MCT oil, but we're not going to take it as a supplement. We're not going to put it in bulletproof coffee. If you've never heard of bulletproof coffee, you don't need to, don't worry about it. And we're not going to just add it to shakes randomly and stuff like that. You're going to hear a lot of noise out there in the world about MCT oil, but not everybody's using MCT oil in the way that we're using MCT oil. Some of those people trying to sell you MCT oils are using it for bodybuilding purposes, etc. We need to burn fat first. Then if we want to get into bodybuilding, we can, but we got to do the nutritional part first. So we're going to use it in those 3 ways that I said. But if you're not using it in that way, don't feel like you need to get it in. Okay, so condiments. We didn't even talk about condiments last night, but we are tonight. So there is a rule about condiments because there's so many things that could be condiments that you've got to have a rule about it, because we can't have every single thing that would be a condiment in the food library. Now, if you want it added to the food library, we certainly will add it to the food library, but we don't have them all in the food library. So we have a rule. It's the 5, 2, and few rule. So what that means is when you are choosing a condiment, you're going to look at 2 bits of information on the nutrition label. You're going to look at the sugar content and the fat content. If a item has more than 5 grams of sugar, you don't even need to look at the fat content because it won't work. So you're looking for 5 grams of sugar or less per serving and 2 grams of fat or less per serving on an item. So if I'm gonna give you a story. I went into Publix and I wanted some Classico traditional pizza sauce because I know it's approved. They didn't have any. I normally buy it at Kroger, but I was at Publix and I was going to get it while I was there. They didn't have any. So I'm left with making a choice of the 6 pizza sauces that they had on the shelf. And so I know my rule, my 5, 2, and few rule. I only need to look at the 2 bits of information on the nutrition label to determine if I could use this item. So what I did was, instead of going to my phone and pulling out my website and looking up every single item on the website, that would have taken a long time. I applied the knowledge to this. So I turned all 6 jars of spaghetti sauce around on the shelf. I started scanning sugar content. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar, I turned it around. It's out of the running. Then once I turned all those around, I looked at the fat content. And if it had more than 2 grams of fat in there, I turned it around. It's out of the running. So out of the 6, there were 2 that worked, and I just bought one of them. And then what I'm going to do on the few part is I do not want to use more than 50 calories of condiments with a meal. And when you use condiments, this is with a combined proper meal. You don't need condiments on a meal replacement. Like if you're eating a meal replacement bar, you don't need condiments on that. So condiments are used with a meal, not a meal replacement or a snack or anything like that. So we call it the 5, 2, and few, meaning a sprinkling rule. So if you're wondering, how can I remember which one is which? Just know that the word sugar has 5 letters in it. And so you're looking for 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat or less. That's how you pick a condiment. Let's say that you want to have multiple condiments on a meal. Let's say that you're making yourself an approved hamburger patty and you would like a slice of cheese and you would like some ketchup and mustard. Well, maybe the approved slice of cheese is 30 calories. Definitely, Tony, definitely approves to salad dressings because there's lots and lots of calories in salad dressings. But yes, so maybe you use a slice of cheese that's approved, that's 30 calories. Maybe you use some mustard. Most mustard, 0 calories. So you can put that in there. So that wouldn't even count towards your calorie total. And then maybe you want some ketchup. You'd have 20 more calories worth of ketchup. And that's 1 serving of ketchup, which is plenty. And so there's 3 condiments, all meeting the rule or approved, and all meeting under the 50 calories or less. So just be picky. I just found that being picky about condiments is very important, because when you're picky about condiments, you're not adding condiments. So Shibby Shop Sherry recently did some math for us. And the math on this is, if you eat approved condiments at every single meal, over the course of a year, you have ingested 54,000 calories in approved condiments. That's 15 pounds. Okay. So you want to keep that in mind, and that's approved, but we're burning that off. Okay. But think about like the salad dressing question that Tony just asked. There's so many calories in salad dressings, and there's so many calories and lots of other things like dips and sauces and everything that we've overused over. Just imagine how many more calories that is if we can have approved calories of 54,000. Okay. It's crazy. We really don't want to do that, but I'm just giving you perspective. Okay. So now that I've gone over cooking oils and condiments, I'm going to go through these foods. Yeah, slausa is, I'm not sure, some type of slaw that has been fermented, maybe. I think that's what it is. I would like for them to take that off the thing because I don't know. If I clicked here, there'd be a picture of it for you. There's slausa. It says the gourmet topping for everything. It doesn't even say what it is, but I think it's some type of slaw that's been fermented. I don't eat it. Okay, so category 1, lean protein. You can have 2 to 8 ounces. And usually, ladies, if we could stick between 2 to 6, and men could go up to 8. But I have never measured that. I just use my 2-hand rule. This is my lean protein measuring hand, and that's what I do. But if you want to know your ounces, if you're curious, then that's good. But you do want to make sure that you're getting plenty of protein in a meal so that it can keep you satisfied, okay, to the next meal. So some of the things that are in the lean protein category are egg whites. If you want to eat egg whites, I'm not a big egg white person. I just use whole eggs and I make sure that I combine it properly. But egg whites are on there and they are great for fat loss. Fish, all fish is right here. Chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, and 96% lean ground meat. Now that meat, I'm going to start at the bottom and kind of go back up and talk about some of these things. That meat could be beef, chicken, turkey, any 96% or greater lean meat can be is a category 1. Your low fat and fat free cottage cheese are here, but your full fat cottage cheese, which is approved, it's in a protein plus fat category. So it's just a different one. And then Greek plain yogurt is here, but there's other yogurts approved. You just want to look those up. The reason that boar's head is specifically mentioned right here is because we know that boar's head is a very lean deli meat, but there's a lot of other, hey Alice, there's a lot of other deli meat approved too. So just know that as well. But boar's head is very lean. And this pork tenderloin, most pork products are a protein plus fat, but a pork tenderloin is a lean protein. But I do want to suggest that if you cook a pork tenderloin, excuse me, if you cook a pork tenderloin and there is visible fat on there, please trim that off because we often use a lean protein to keep us in a proper combination when we want to eat an energy carb, and we want to have trimmed as much fat off of that as possible to not store fat. All right. So the chicken breast and turkey breast is mentioned breast because that's the lean part. If you have dark meat or if you have meat with skin, that would be over in the lean protein category. So I hope that you have written down some things that you like right here. Venison is approved. Okay, so Dava, venison is typically a lean protein as long as you haven't put more fat in it in the processing of it that would make it greater than, less than 96% lean. So it depends on the processing of it, but most of the time it's a lean. Okay. So what this is saying to you is that you can eat lean protein by itself. You can cook it up in an appropriate approved oil, doctor it up with some condiments, and you have an approved meal. Now, remember, yesterday we went over that there are 7 categories of food. I said that there were 5 that you could eat alone. What 5 can you eat alone? Please type that in the chat or on Facebook for me. Looking for those 5 you can eat alone. I hope y'all took notes on that. Okay, Lynn. Awesome, Lynn. Awesome, Jennifer. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Heather on Facebook, what did I say about boar's head in category 1? Okay, Heather, I was saying that boar's head, we just know that it's a very lean deli meat, but there's a lot of approved deli meat. Just look it up in the food library. But the reason that we have boar's head on here is because if you're just wanting to go to the store and buy something pretty quick, boar's head we know is very, very lean. That's why it's listed there. Awesome. Okay, I see some other people typing that in. Linda and Angela and Troy Don. Awesome. Yes. So you can have everything but a 3 and a 5 alone if you needed to. The reason that's important, thank you, Gail. Thank you, Karen. Thanks, Janine. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good, Heather. Okay. The reason this is important to know is because we teach you how to eat in all situations. Now, at home, when you're making a meal, if it's a planned out meal, you're probably going to combine some food. But maybe that you're in a hurry or something's happening and you just need to eat something quick, or maybe you've got one piece of chicken left over from a meal and you just want to eat a piece of chicken. It's important to know that you can do that by itself. Okay. So those are the ones that you can eat by themselves. And yes, yes, and Leah wrote it out like that with the abbreviation. So cool, awesome. I see y'all paid attention on that. Excellent. So I'm sorry, something's tickling my throat. So we can do that. Now we're going to scroll down. Category 7 is shellfish. Now remember, shellfish is really just a what? Awesome. Yes. Okay. Awesome. It's really just a lean protein. Cool. Good. So shellfish is a lean protein. So when you hear you've got to have a lean protein and a fibrous carb with that. Awesome, Michelle and Patty on Facebook. Awesome. When you hear that, if you eat shellfish, that means that you get to pick from 2 categories. Okay. You can pick from the lean protein and the shellfish category. So that's just a lean protein. So 2 to 8 ounces of that as well. Crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. Okay, so and basically anything that lives in water, whether it's the ocean, a creek, the lake, wherever, if it lives in water and it is not fish, because we just put fish in the lean protein category, it goes here. Even if it doesn't have a shell, like an octopus, all right, it would still be there. So what this is saying is that you can eat shellfish cooked up in the appropriate oil, doctored up with the right condiments, and have an excellent fat burning meal. Great job, Sherry. So, hey Gladys, on now we have another category. Category 2, fibrous carbs. You can have half a cup up to a cup. Here's where the difference comes in. Remember how I said there were 2 modes? If you are in weight loss mode, we really need to be sticking to really that half a cup, okay? And we are trying to get our stomach back to its regular size. Yes, Michelle. Michelle on Facebook asks, can you combine multiple lean proteins as long as they equal 2 to 6 ounces? Yes, you can. So if this is your lean protein hand, if you had some chicken here and some shrimp here, you could do that, but you don't want it more than what can fit underneath your hand, or if you use the ounces, but you can do that, Michelle. That's totally fine. You can do that same thing with fibrous carbs too. So let's say that you had some broccoli and some green beans right here. You can split it up. That'd probably be about a 1/4 cup of broccoli. You're welcome. 1/4 cup of green beans. You could do that, but you don't want it more than what can fit underneath this hand right here. No more than half a cup in weight loss, but it fit underneath under the hand. Okay, I use the hand. But this cup would just to show you that if you, once you get into maintenance, if you wanted to do a little bit more, you could. But half a cup to a cup. So broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles. Small list, very small list. But these are some things that are in category 2. The reason it's important for us to read through these is because sometimes we don't know what foods are considered fibrous carbs and which foods are considered energy carbs and which foods are considered superfoods, because we kind of just put them in a general category of vegetables. You know what I mean? We've just said, oh, eat veggies, eat veggies. Well, all these veggies don't respond in your body the same way. So we've got to know which ones are which. So it's important to begin to hear this information. Now, I do want to tell you that there are over 60 approved bread or bread type items in this category. And that's exciting news for most people. All right. So we've got, and we'll go over some of those in just a second. So what this is showing you that you would pick something from this category. Gail, you can do that. Green beans is category 2. Remember what I said? This is a short list. Not everything is on this. Green beans are definitely a fibrous carb, Gail. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just not on this list, but it's a fibrous carb. Totally fine. This, see in the beginning, if we gave y'all 6,000 foods to pick from, we'd be like flying all over the place, not knowing where to go. So what we do is we have this smaller list, and then on the new member food library, it's even a little bit bigger than this. And then you move into the big giant food library. Okay. So these are just a small short list, not all inclusive. This is not an all inclusive list, but green beans is definitely here. But that's funny, Gail. She goes, oh, shoot, I eat green beans with chicken. I'm like, it's good. You can do that. So what I'd like for y'all to do real quick is to pick something that you would eat from category 1 with something that you would eat from category 2 and type it in for me. I want to see what type of meals that y'all would pick. And then if somebody wants to answer this question, this would be great. Which one of these oils would you use if you wanted your category 1 and 2 to be the fastest fat burning combination? Okay, so Michelle says chicken and broccoli, chicken breast and broccoli from Leah, and Melissa, MCT oil. You're answering those questions. Awesome. Troy Dawn, fabulous. Man, y'all are typing fast today. Lynn had chicken breast and squash tonight for dinner and used MCT oil with it. Awesome. David, chicken breast and cucumbers with MCT. Okay, that's awesome. Grilled fish and broccoli. Fabulous. Janine, chicken breast cooked with MCT oil and broccoli. Salmon and spinach with MCT. Turkey breast and broccoli with MCT is my cooking oil. Fish, asparagus, MCT. Hubby says venison and asparagus and MCT. Awesome. Pork tenderloin with as much fat trimmed off as possible. I always just repeat that so we get that in our head. And asparagus with MCT. Okay, and Lolanda Pam spray is good, but it's not going to make your fastest fat burning. This MCT is going to do that. But you can use Pam. It's not a problem. Linda, chicken breast and green beans and MCT oil. Angela, pork tenderloin and broccoli. MCT, chicken breast, riced cauliflower. That's right, with MCT. And Gail, egg white omelet with bell pepper cooked in spray oil. You can do that. You can do that. Awesome. And then on Facebook, we've got some salmon and cauliflower, salmon and spinach, lean ground turkey with cauliflower, chicken and Brussels sprouts, chicken and broccoli, chicken and Brussels sprouts. A lot of chicken being eaten. But understand, my first Shibboleth approved meal was chicken breast and broccoli, like most people. So you get the thought. You get the thought of combinations. Okay. So just because there's a plus sign there, we're not doing any math. We're really just picking one thing from one category and one thing with another category, making sure it's an approved combination, cooking it up in the appropriate oil. Any of these oils could be used. It's just that the MCT makes it be the fastest fat burning. And awesome. Karen would have salmon grilled with asparagus cooked in MCT oil. And then you can doctor it up with an appropriate condiment. See, what's great about condiments, you can take chicken and it can taste like Mexican. You can take chicken and it can taste like barbecue. You can take chicken and make it Italian. just by changing up the seasonings. So you can do all of that. So this is an approved combination. So now we're going to look down here at another one. Category 7 with a category 2 is an approved combination. Cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you've got another great, excellent fat burning meal. Awesome, Kathy. Kathy said pork tenderloin and cabbage cooked in MCT oil. Awesome. So right here, we've come to a new category. Category 6, superfood. Now, a food qualifies to be a superfood if it has all 4 macronutrients in it. So superfood has water in it. We consider water a macronutrient on planet Shibboleth, okay? That's very important. It also has in it protein, carbs, and fat. So a superfood has all 4 macronutrients in there. Let's see, Leah, did you say category 2 should be half a cup for weight loss mode? Yes. Yes, half a cup. But I'm going to tell you, Leah, I never pulled out a measuring cup and measured it. I just used this. So if you've not watched last night's video, make sure that you may have, but for those of you that haven't, watch that because it's very important to go over the 2-hand rule that we use for measuring food. I would just put the fibrous carb under here. But the reason we give that half a cup is just so that you have a visual, a mental visual, and maybe you do want to measure it out to make sure that you're keeping yourself right and tight. But yes, that's what I said, Leah. So category 6 has all 4 macronutrients in there. So most of your darker colored beans are here. Pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans. This is where you're going to find your approved nut butters, nuts, seeds, avocado, things like that, okay? And just because something is not on this list doesn't mean you can't use it in the beginning. This is just us building up. You can use anything that's in the food library in the beginning as long as it's an approved combination. But if you stick with your lean proteins and your fibrous carbs, you're going to have better results, okay? So it depends on how fast you want your results to happen. But anything is approved in the food library. So you've got these beans. Do you see where it says a cup to 1.5 cups? This is if you are eating this superfood by itself, as indicated here in this row. If you are eating these with a meal, you wouldn't be able to put half a cup, a cup to 1.5 cups underneath your hands with additional foods and keep that amount. So this would be backed off to about half a cup or 1/4 of a cup, depending on which combination you're doing, okay? That's if you're eating it by itself. So you can have a superfood all by itself. Now we've got these condiments here. And you'll notice that there is a column missing right here that's been right next to the condiments on all those other combos. What column is missing now? I was saying it right before the condiments. The oils. That's right, David, the oils. So here's the thing. Remember I said that superfoods have all 4 macronutrients in there. They already have fat in them. Now, some have more than others, depending. This category varies greatly. So for example, nuts and seeds have more fat in them than beans do, but they all have some fat in there. So we've got some fats in there. We don't need to add fats to it. So that's why that column isn't here anymore. If I was going to use something to cook these, it'd be water. If I needed to cook it, it would be 0-calorie cooking spray, but I don't necessarily need to add oils to it. Okay. And then you can doctor it up with the right condiments and have a great little meal there. This right here, this is showing you that you can put a superfood together with a category 2. Okay, so maybe you have your superfood underneath this hand here and your category 2 underneath this hand here, and you measure it. You don't want your food sticking out around your hands, and you don't want it to be any thicker than the thickest part of your hand. Okay. And you can have a category 6 with a category 2. This is where Travis, our founder, says that you get your greens and beans. So if you like greens and beans, you can do that. There is also an approved combination that includes a lean protein with this. So let's say you have chicken breast here, pinto beans here, green beans here. That's an approved combination as well. Don't have it listed here, but it's on the larger combination chart. So, but while we're right here, I want to tell you, this is also where you find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Does anybody like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? If you do, this is where you find that combination. Although it's not quite listed out here, you might be thinking, wait a minute, I don't see any breads here. But remember how I said earlier, there's over 60 approved bread or bread type items. You can have something in the category 2, fibrous carb, that's a bread, and make a sandwich with it. So you would take your approved peanut butter. Yes, so easy. That's right, Gail. Approved peanut butter with a category 2 fibrous carb bread, and you get a sugar-free jelly. There is also a low sugar Smucker's that's approved. If you don't like sugar-free things, there is a jam that's called Good Jam that's sweetened with stevia. So it covers all availability. And so you got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right here, a fat burning peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I'd like to encourage you by telling you that Nikki Kyle, who is one of our members, lost 93 pounds and she eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day. So she just learned how to make an approved one rather than the other one that was fat storing. She started making a fat burning peanut butter and jelly. While we're on the topic of sandwiches, if anybody likes a grilled cheese, I'm going to scoot back up here to this one. Category 1 lean protein. Although it is not listed here in our list, fat-free cheese is a lean protein. And if you have the appropriate bread, you got a sandwich, right? Use some ghee butter if you want to. I can't believe it's not butter spray when I'm making a grilled cheese just because I like to. But that would be a grilled cheese. So this is where you find grilled cheese sandwich. Sometimes I'll put cheese and some turkey, lean turkey meat on there and have a grilled turkey and cheese sandwich. So I just learned how to buy the right foods with Shibboleth and put them together in the right way and turned what I was eating before Shibboleth into what I'm eating with Shibboleth is the same thing. I just might be buying a different product and I'm learning to manage what I do. So if you did not watch last night's video, it's very helpful because Shibboleth is really a management system. It helps you manage your month, your week, your day, and your meal. And we've got to learn the management system. It's not hard, but go back and watch that. So make sure that you get it all together. Okay, we have a new category here. Category 4, protein plus fat. Now remember what I said, this word fat is not a bad word. Fat, our body needs fats for certain functions, and fat, when it's portion controlled, will just be used up as energy and dissipate as heat. Okay, so it's not a bad thing. You will notice that we went down in the ounces just a little bit because 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, where 1 gram of fat has 9. So you're still going to get the same amount of calories, or maybe even a little bit more, with the protein plus fat. So just making you aware of why that was reduced just a smidge. But I never have measured that either. I put it underneath this hand and I eat it. Now, it has helped me out at restaurants when I go to a steakhouse and I order a steak. Now I know, don't get more than a 6-ounce steak. Okay, this is where all your whole eggs are. Steak, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. So we're looking for nothing that you get and use as a protein plus fat should have more than 50% calories from fat. That would be not approved. So with your ground meat, if you choose to have the 93% lean up to 95.9, that would be a category 4. But if it is less than 93% lean, you do not want to use it on a perfect day, because really what they've done is taken a whole bunch of fat and added some meat to it. So it's really not lean at all. But you could use this for a category 4. most of your pork products are here, except for that pork tenderloin, which you want to trim off any visible fat. And Canadian bacon, by the way, that I use that quite a bit for breakfast, and it's a lean protein. Let me talk about this turkey spam real quick, because I always laugh that we've got turkey spam on here. This isn't, you don't have to eat turkey spam. What I love talking about this is this lifestyle can be done by anybody at any budget. Whether you have a grass-fed, grass-finished beef budget, or you have a turkey spam budget, anybody can do this lifestyle. If you say, I'm not eating turkey spam, you don't have to. And it's not that Travis Martin woke up one morning and said, I want to put turkey spam on my lifestyle. See, a lot of things end up in our food library because people request and ask us to look at it and see if it'll work. See, regular spam doesn't work, but turkey spam would, because we've looked at, the fat and the lean protein and all that kind of stuff. We've looked at that and we've determined that it would work. If you don't want to eat it, don't. I don't eat it. So I'm just telling you, we don't discriminate against food. So if you see some foods in the food library that you think, I can't believe that's in the food library, well, don't worry about it. You don't have to eat it. Okay, David. So can we use an approved bread to make a turkey spam sandwich? You can. You could use a category 2 fibrous carb bread and make a turkey spam sandwich. Yes. Or chicken breast with approved bread to make a portion sandwich. Yes, you can use chicken breast with approved bread. It needs to be a category 2 bread for the spam. Okay. If you're using a chicken breast, you could actually use an approved category 3 bread as long as you also had a category 2. But I'm going to tell you right now, since I started Shibboleth, I have not ever bought a loaf bread or anything else that was bread that was a category 3. Why would I do that? There's better options right here in this category 2, and that's just what I buy. But yes, you can do that. And David, if you use a category 2 bread, you wouldn't need anything else with your sandwich. You could just eat a chicken breast sandwich. Totally fine. Courtney, okay, calories for women. Well, in Shibboleth, we don't really talk about calories for people. We don't really concern ourselves with calories too much, Courtney. But if you want to know that, if you've previously looked at, oh, Courtney, I got you. So really, it would probably be best if you're measuring it to keep it about 4, but I probably would do 6 myself. Okay. I don't think it's going to hurt you. It's just, Courtney, as long as you don't go over 6, you're good. Okay. But like I said, y'all, I've never measured it. And I've been doing this Shibboleth lifestyle now for over 2 years. I lost 50 pounds in 5 months, and I never measured anything. You literally used the 2 hands, and that was it, because I didn't want to measure and I didn't want to go to all that trouble. And so I just used my 2 hands and it worked. But if you are going to measure, then I would stick with no more than 6 ounces, even for women, Courtney. To be super safe, it might be 4, but I like to get my food in. All right. So category 4, it can be eaten by itself if you wanted to, like if you were out and about and your choices weren't very good and you just ate a piece of meat, totally fine. You could do that. But optimally, you'd put it with a category 2, and then you can doctor it up with the right condiments. And you'll notice right here that there's no oils here either, because this has fat in it. And you don't need more fat when it's already got fat in it. So this is where I use, like if I'm cooking whole eggs, 0-calorie cooking spray. But if I happen to be cooking an egg white spinach omelet or something like that, I'm going to use MCT oil. See where see how you already can make those decisions? Okay, category 3, energy carb. Ding, 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 ding. We have got to combine this properly. This brings an insulin release, all right? So we're going to read these out, and then I'm going to give the science behind it. 1/4 cup is what you should stick with in weight loss mode. But I'm going to tell you, I've never measured it. 1/4 cup. I just use my hands. I just put it right there. I put a lean protein there and a fibrous carb there, and I had my meal. Boom, covered it up. That's that. But if you are a measurer and it is a good visual to see, you really don't want more than a quarter of a cup in energy carbs for sure in weight loss, because these bring more of an insulin or bring an insulin release. Half a cup's kind of leading up to maintenance. All right. So, and I do see portion distortion. When I'm looking at pictures of people, like their meal and their plate, I see portion distortion. So make sure that you truly measure it underneath your hands. All right. So all of your potatoes are here. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal. That's really called fiber and protein now. It's that Quaker. Hold on, I got to get that changed. So I'm making myself a note. Long grain brown rice would work. White rice is not approved for a perfect day. Quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomatoes, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta. So we got pasta on the list, but here's the thing about pasta. I have not bought any more pasta, like a whole wheat or a whole grain pasta, since I started Shibboleth, because I learned about better pastas. We got Explore Cuisine pasta. Y'all look some of those up. Some of them are category 2s. Some of those are category 3s. I mean, just look them up, know how to use them, okay? Or there's the carbonara pasta. You can use that. Okay, so I've just never bought any of these things. There's some things that I just went ahead and eliminated because I've got better options now that I've learned about them. Carrots. Carrots, when they're cooked, have more sugar in them. So you want to consider those to be a category 3. Even though you might feel like they're fibrous because they're pretty hard to chew and get through, you've got to consider those category 3 if they're cooked. If you wanted to eat like a handful of those raw baby carrots, you can eat that as a freebie if you need to. Okay, like to get through a moment where you're hungry, you could eat that. Onion and tomato. People are always very surprised that you would need to be careful with those. So this is how I like for you to understand this. If you are eating enough onion in a meal that is equaling a quarter of a cup or more, which it really shouldn't, but if you're eating up to a quarter cup of onion in a meal, you need to consider that a category 3 so that you combine it properly. Same thing with a tomato. If you're having a quarter cup or more of tomato, you would want to make sure that you consider that a category 3 so that you can combine it properly. But if you make yourself, let's just say a 96% lean ground beef patty, like a hamburger patty, and you want to use a thin slice of onion, no thicker than your finger, or a thin slice of tomato, no thicker than your pinky finger, no thicker than that, you can use that as part of your condiments. You just don't want to go over 50 calories on condiments, even if you use multiple condiments. But if you're using a quarter cup or more of these things, a quarter cup, you've got to consider that energy carb so that it's combined properly. All of your peas are here, except for the chickpea, which is also called a garbanzo bean. Just to confuse everybody, it's called 2 things, right? It's a superfood, but all of your other peas are right here. Most of your lighter colored beans are here, like lima beans and such. But this is why it's very important for you to look up the foods you specifically like, because let's just give this as an example. If you like navy beans, they're a lighter colored bean, but they happen to be a superfood. So there's just those few that if you happen to like them, you need to know where they fall in the categories. So let me make a meal real quick. Let's say that you like field peas and you want to have some field peas right here. Field peas right here. No more than a quarter of a cup, but it's going to sit right there. And then now those field peas, when you eat them, are going to elevate your blood sugar. Now you'll know there's no fat in field peas, okay? But they do elevate your blood sugar. So they elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with the blood sugar elevation. But now that you know to eat foods in a way that control insulin, you're going to combine it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's just use chicken breast since we were all using chicken breast earlier. But let's say you put chicken breast right here. Let's just use green beans right here and field peas. All portioned underneath your hands, that's a properly combined, properly portioned meal. So the field peas elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation. But now that you know this, the protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came from the field peas. You have controlled insulin all within the eating of that meal, and there was no fat in that meal. I mean, lean protein is used because it's lean, all right? And there's no fat in fibrous carbs. There's no fat in the energy carb, okay? It's what the problem is, it's the catalyst to fat storage if you've eaten fat with it. And so you'll notice those oils aren't listed right here, right? Those oils are not listed because if you had an oil with this, it would collect it. That insulin would collect it. So there's no oils listed as. If you're for sure going to use like a lean protein or something right here with this, because you don't want any oils capturing that fat. Karen says, can you have a superfood with a lean protein? Yes, I'm pretty sure that is an approved combination. Yes. In fact, let me just make sure. This is the advanced combination chart. So yeah, there it is right there, Karen, a lean protein and a superfood. Okay, so category 5, fruit. This is the exact same thing as we just went over. If you want to eat fruit, it must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb when you are in weight loss mode. See, weight loss mode and maintenance mode are two different nutritional situations. In weight loss mode, we are trying to access and burn stored energy, which is fat. In maintenance, you're just trying to maintain everything. So in weight loss mode, because we're trying to get the results, we've got to combine fruit properly. It's got to be with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. In maintenance, you may also have a piece of fruit as a snack if you'd like it. Okay, so let's go over some other approved things. Category 2 breads. Y'all find you a category 2 bread that you like and let that be the one you use, because category 3 breads, you got to make sure you combine them properly. I'd rather use one that has enough fiber in it. So less bread is best. Always keep that in mind. Less bread is best. La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla. The Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla. I buy that. Here's what it looks like. The Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla. I eat quite a bit of these. Tortillas are actually better for weight loss and fat burning than loaf bread. Just to let you know that. There's typically more fiber in them. You can use Healthy Life bread. Bran crisp bread. It's not really bread, it's cracker. It's very good though. It's pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, and another flavor. You can buy those in the Shibboleth store if you wanted them. Healthy Life hot dog buns. Thomas Light, the 100-calorie English muffins, those would work as well. So you can use all of those things. Now, there is a Nature's Own, I think it's called Keto Life or something like that you can use too. And my favorite is Sara Lee 45-calorie Delightful Multigrain. So that's my favorite bread. Now, although there are some Nature's Own breads that are approved as a category 2, please know that the Nature's Own hot dog and hamburger buns are category 3s. So you'd want to make sure that you combined those with a lean protein and a fibrous carb if you were doing that. But I don't know why you do that when a Healthy Life hot dog bun and Healthy Life hamburger bun is a category 2 fibrous carb. So you can find what you need in the best or better categories. So sweeteners, any 0-calorie sweeteners fine. Stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. If you have a problem with Splenda, then don't eat it. You don't have to. Approved beverages, water. I got my water right here. I always make sure I get in at least 4 of these as a minimum, but really be shooting for that gallon, because that gallon is going to keep you more mentally and physically satisfied. Okay. And that's nice to have a gallon in each day, but you don't really need to get more than that. It's not really necessary. Any 0-calorie beverage is fine, but it does not take the place of your water. And you can use coffee with approved sweeteners and cheese. Any fat-free cheese is fine. It's a category 1 lean protein. Look at this cheese right here, this Cabot extra light cheese right here though. It is a category 4 protein plus fat. So you just want to make sure that you use it appropriately. Oh, let me ask y'all this question. What 3 categories do we not eat with protein plus fat? Hopefully you were taking notes and wrote that down last night. There's 3 categories that we don't eat with a protein plus fat. Awesome, Karen. That's right. You don't eat your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods with protein plus fat. Why do we not eat those with the protein plus fat? What do these do? I took a picture, Renata, the other day of fat-free mozzarella at Walmart. I don't know, you live in Texas, Renata? I don't know if y'all got Publix or not, but I buy the, okay, then I won't tell you that. Do you have Ingles? Okay, so typically I buy them there. Tom Thumb. Okay. I don't know what they sell at Tom Thumb. Kroger. Yeah, Kroger does not carry them very much at all. So I feel you on that. Walmart carries it. Walmart carries it. Just you might have to ask somebody, and it is kind of like a little scavenger hunt. But honestly, I've just said forget it on some cheeses. I'll just use this Cabot extra light cheese. 2% singles are also approved. They're just a category 4 protein plus fat. Those can be found at just about any store. The 2%, the Kraft 2%, that's approved as a category 4. It's just that you make sure you used it appropriately. And then, okay, so the reason that you don't eat protein plus fat with the 3s, 5s, and 6s is because those bring an insulin release and you don't want it to capture it. Awesome. Awesome. And Angela says Meyer has the fat-free Kraft mozzarella. Yeah. And I've also seen the fat-free cheddar at not Publix, Walmart. But it's like one string. You got all these cheeses in Walmart, and it's like the one little metal rack that's got it on there. Okay, so we're about to wrap up. I don't have much longer. Lean protein milk, 8 to 16 ounces. Fat-free Fairlife milk and Kroger Carb Master milk. Renata, you can go into these. Let me show you. Okay, hang on with me when I finish in the end, Renata, and I'm going to show you some things. And y'all can all hang on. I just want to finish this first, and then we'll go into that because I want to show you something cool. So lean protein milk. The reason that we use fat-free milks that have been fortified with protein is because whole milk is nothing but sugar and fat together, and that's a bad combo. And skim milk is really a lot of sugar. So we don't really use all of those, okay? So this is fat-free milk that has been combined with protein. So 8 ounces would be used as a lean protein, up to 16 ounces could be a meal. So we also can use breadings and flours, coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, which is kind of like our version of Bisquick, anyway, TVP, textured vegetable protein, almond flour. All of these things right here are category 2 fibrous carbs, which is great. So if you like to maybe dust some chicken breast tenderloins with some of these things and then fry that up in MCT oil, that's like fried chicken. It's delicious. You can do that. You can make Carb Quick biscuits, Carb Quick pancakes, Carb Quick waffles, all kinds of stuff with Carb Quick. It's like a Bisquick. Yeah, Bob's Red Mill. I know the reason it was throwing me off because there was no apostrophe there. And I've read this 1,000 times, but I wanted to confuse it tonight. Thank you, Jennifer. And then, but when you use Carb Quick, y'all, don't use the recipes on that box. They did not take into account Shibboleth rules when they made that. All right. So you can, but there's over 6 pages of recipes in the recipe library with Carb Quick. Also, I want you to know, y'all don't get to go to the big fat food library and the big robust recipe library until you have done the fast track test. Okay, so please make sure that you get into Fast Track and do it. That's how you learn the lifestyle. So cereals, Kashigo Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, and High-Low Nutritious Living. That's a small little list. I'm going to pop over into cereals in the food library in just a second because I want to show you something really important. Condiments. I'm not going to read those because we've already talked about condiments. Restaurants. Please play with the restaurant guide. Go to the restaurant guide, scroll down until you see a restaurant that you frequent often, and then look at the foods that are, the meals that are listed there and see which ones maybe you already ordered that meal. Click on it. Then you're going to read how to order that meal. So, for example, it says if I want a grilled chicken salad from Zaxby's, it says ordered without the fried crunchy things and the Texas toast. And then it tells you if you want it to be even better, do this, that, and the other. But that's typically how I order mine. So you can even have at Chick-fil-A 8 to 12 grilled nuggets with a side salad. You can do 8 fried nuggets with a side salad. Now you see you're giving up 4 nuggets there to get fried. This girl does that. You can also eat the grilled filet, the fried regular filet, and the spicy fried filet. That's all approved at Chick-fil-A, not at other restaurants. The way Chick-fil-A does theirs works out because they use a low carb breading, but their chicken strips aren't approved. I guess they have different breading for those. They do taste different to me. But anyway, make sure that you familiarize yourself with restaurants because you want to know how to order at a restaurant on the way home from work. If you're frustrated, maybe the kids are yelling in the car or there's some kind of crazy driver out there and you're getting stressed or something, you got to know how to go through a drive-through and get an appropriate meal and keep your day perfect and not let other things affect how you're going to do this lifestyle. Sorry, Gail. No, Gail reminded me. You don't eat them with their bread. I would eat any of those things, but on a side salad. So I'm sorry. Thank you, Gail. I about got some people in trouble. Yeah, no, on a side salad or by itself, but not on their bun. But if you wanted to take your own bun or bread that's approved a category 2, you could take that with you, but not on their bread. Okay, so what we're going to do real quick is we are going to go into cereal. I'm going to go into the Fast Track. I'm not Fast Track. I'm going to go into the website. And if you need to go, I totally understand. If you don't, what I'm going to do is show cereals and I'm going to show how to find what's often sold at some of these restaurants. Grocery stores. So if you can't hang with me, I understand. But if you can, I would love it. I'm going to click on this green button, Resources, Foods, and Recipes. I'm going to click on the Approved Food Library. Now, I've got the big giant food library because I passed my test, okay? Do you see over here on the right-hand side where it has these short little links? I'm coming down here to cereal. Do you see where it says phase 1 and phase 2 cereal? I don't want to confuse anybody with talking phase 1, phase 2, that type of stuff. Basically, phase 1 is the better foods for you. It's typically whole foods and it's typically high quality other foods. Phase 2 cereal's got Captain Crunch in it. You got to know that that's just giving you more variety. You didn't up the scale on the high quality, did you? Not going to Captain Crunch, but it is approved in the phase 2. So if you use phase 1 cereal, I clicked on it. It's a kind of a short list. These are your best cereals. See, cereal is not that great for weight loss, okay? Most of your cereals are going to be what we call 0 on the weight loss meter. Do you see right here where it says weight loss meter? You can change this little ball here and you can find your best for weight loss. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm doing something else, but that is in the Fast Track laps. You're going to want to watch the Fast Track laps to learn how to use that. And these little babies right here are filters. So if you need gluten-free stuff, you can click gluten-free. If you don't want any artificial sweetener in what you use, you can choose that. Okay, so see how these -3s, those are better for weight loss. -3 is better for weight loss. 0 is right in the center. It's not going to help you, not going to hurt you. Negative numbers are better for weight loss and positive numbers are really better for maintenance. But if you happen to do one in maintenance, in weight loss, it's not going to hurt you. it would still be a perfect day. It would just be that you wouldn't want to do that often. So these cereals here, the reason I'm pointing these out is because I'm often asked, hey, can I have almond milk? Well, you can have unsweetened almond milk with a phase 1 cereal only. See, cereals are pretty starchy, and you've got to have one of these. See right here, you got to have one of these fat-free protein milks. The protein in these milks will help offset the starchiness of that cereal, and there's no fat in there to be collected. So that's why that's important. But if you go over here into these phase 2 cereals, you're going to see a big long list be generated. You cannot get any brand, Michelle. No, this one would be Special K. Let's look up Special K right here, because Michelle on Facebook is asking about Special K, the one with the strawberries. We'll see if it's in here, but it makes sure that it's brand specific. That other one, Michelle, was the protein one. Now, I haven't looked to see if the protein one has strawberries in it or not. Okay, but do you see how I was talking about these Captain Crunch cereal? And look, 0, 0, 0, 0. These are not that great for weight loss. There's even a 1. That would be, there's chocolate peanut butter Cheerios. That's a positive number. If you did it, it would still be a perfect day. But if you're doing that all the time, you're not going to see as great a results as you would if you did the others. These cereals must be with a lean protein milk. Let's go down to Special K. Special K. So there you go. Michelle, here's a whole bunch of Special K things. There's a red berries one. That's probably that strawberry one right there. So you would want to make sure that you had that one with a lean protein milk, not an almond milk. And I only go into that because some people ask about the almond milk. Okay, so while we are here, I am going to go into this resources, recipes, and this green button is going to be one of your favorites. Now, you see how I can move around in this website so quickly? It's because I have been here 2 years, okay? But I've created the fast track because I felt like we needed that organization to help people learn the website more quickly, efficiently. So it's going to shorten your learning curve on the website if you will do the fast track, okay? Please don't just randomly start going all over the website. Follow the fast track, and it will be an organized and helpful way for you to do that. Okay, so I'm going to click on this grocery store search. And look, you click on Aldi, there's some Aldis that have been listed out and that people are telling us and giving us all kinds of information. This is member entered info. So this is not Shibboleth info. We didn't enter it. Members entered it. So right here, here's all the items that people have found at Aldi. Linda, you can find last night's webinar in lap 2 of Fast Track. So hopefully that'll help, Renata. Look at all these things that you can find that are approved at. Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty, Jennifer. Jennifer, there's plenty. It just might not have listed Buford. That was, maybe you don't have an Aldi near you. This is for Aldi. Good, Renata. Awesome. So now I'm going to go back here, and Renata mentioned, let me see. Let's see, Trader Joe's. Let's see. This is all in alphabetical order. So if you go to the grocery store and you want to plug it in for your area, so for example, Buford, if you want to plug that store in, Jennifer, that'd be helpful because that, like I said, this is member info. There's Whole Foods and Winn-Dixie listed. Wow, look at that Kroger number. That means that's 1,055 approved Shibboleth items found at Kroger. I feel like there's even more at Ingles though. Trader Joe's. Yep, Trader Joe's right there. So you would click on Trader Joe's. Awesome. Well, yeah, go into this, Renata, and look at that and see all the stores that you have there. And then when you click on Trader Joe's, it lists out what people have found there. And it's not a comprehensive list, y'all, because like I said, this is member entered info. And anytime y'all want to add to it, that's awesome. Okay, well, I hope that y'all have enjoyed tonight. Oh, let me do one more thing while we're here. By you participating in tonight, click on Dashboard and then click on Fast Track. Yours, if you're new, already shows up to Fast Track. See right there, lap 2? Because Linda right here, do you see where it says participate in the Sunday Night Live webinar? It's on demand for you right there. It's right there. But if you participated in last night's webinar and tonight's webinar, you can go into lap 2 and check off that box and that box. In this one, you just need to know that that website that I used tonight to read the combinations and different things is right here. And you can just check it off knowing that it's there. Okay. So awesome. You're welcome, Lynn. You're welcome. And please, if y'all did not watch last night's webinar, you've got to watch it because that helps us know the management system. Okay. And then awesome, Yolanda. Just go in there and mark it off into lap 2. Awesome, Michelle. Glad you hung out with us. That's fabulous. And then if you did not join me on the Shibby Show this morning, please do that. Just like the Shibboleth public page. I go on 7:30 to 7:40 Eastern Standard Time. You're welcome, Linda. You're welcome. And if you missed it by chance, let me show you another thing. I like showing this website, y'all, if you can't tell. If you missed it, you click on the journal and it should show up. You're welcome, Karen. I'll show you, Renata. The journal videos show up right here. I uploaded a whole bunch of them today. If you click on this yellow tab and go to the silver level, see how it had listed out right here? I'm sorry, my husband needs to come let my dog out of this office. And this is the fast track level videos, silver, gold, tiger's eye. Please know, blinders need to be on your eyes. You need to stay in fast track until you've got this baby down, okay? Thank you, Lolanda. That's awesome. But if you go into the silver level and then click right here, over here on recently added, I put these on and listen to them in the car. You know, it's kind of like a podcast. You're not really watching it. You are listening. So I don't watch them while I'm driving. I just listen to them. But these are the Shibby shows that I do. Gail, I thought that it was your second time. I remember your name from before. So, but anyway, all of those things are right there for you, and they will show up in your journal every single day. Y'all please forgive my dog. All right, y'all have a great night. Bye.